Hi, my name is EJ Massa. Before this episode aired, I heard a rumor that a third of the episode would take place in Marine. And you know what? I got a little bummed out. And because the Marine stuff has been so lackluster, my expectations for any Marine type content were quite low. You know, with Tyrion bungling diplomacy and his improv classes with Grey Worm and Missandei, it's not my favorite. In the last time on, Missandei says,
"The masters have come for their property."
Hey guys, you might not get your property back in the best condition if you lob fire at it. Like sometimes if my friend borrows my video game for too long, I go over to his house and I lob a grenade into his window. And he's dead. And so is Twilight Princess HD. Dany has the best idea ever. She's like, fuck this place and everybody in it. I'll nuke it with dragons. Tyrion tells Dany she sounds fucking crazy and then kindly reminds the audience of the wildfire under King's Landing because it might have some relevance to the upcoming plot. Burn them all! I guess those Bran flashbacks were too subtle for this show. Dany and crew parlay with the good masters. Full intimidation mode. She's smug-mugging. Oh, she's smug-mugging good. The good masters attempt to smug-mug back, but they are no match for the queen. They lay out their terms, which are just bullshit.
Your reign is over.
My reign has just begun.
Oh shit, yeah. And they use that take where the wind is blowing in her hair and it's all fucking cool. She hops on a Drogon and the soldiers are amazed that they improved the CGI so she doesn't look all janky like last season. And the other dragons break out of the pyramid. How did they break out of the pyramid? How did they break through that thick stone? How did they know exactly when to do it? Who fucking cares? It's awesome. Shut up. We see some harpies stabbing innocent people so that when the Dothraki horde comes, we feel really good about them all dying. And I do feel good. I feel real good. I like everything that's happening here. I like all the fire, I like them all burn, and Dany is strong. Tyrion says the one with the most eyeliner has to die. Oh, he does. Go back to Sephora and tell them what you saw here. Okay, so maybe everything up until this point in Marine has been pretty lackluster, but at least we got to see the dragons being used as a weapon of war, and Tyrion finally gets something cool to do this season. It might be whipped cream and a cherry on top of a pile of shit, but at least it's not just shit. Jon Snow and Sansa meet with Ramsay and he makes them a terrible offer. Not unlike the good master scene we just saw. Jon's like, let's settle this and smash Ramsay one-on-one. No items, fox only, final destination. I prefer brawl. Oh, filthy casual. The parlay with Ramsay ends how you expect, throwing wolf heads, rape threats, and promising his dogs will attack their groins.
Your balls.
Stay classy, Ramsay. The men come up with some kind of strategy and Sansa is mad because Jon never asked for her advice. Jon's like, I don't have to take this. I fought magical ice demons. I bet Ramsay isn't even magical. He's like, alright. How do we get Rickon back? Oh, sweet summer child. Rickon is already marked for death by the riders. Then they fight and Sansa for some reason decides to withhold info that she has Vale troops coming. Alright, I know that Littlefinger sowed some seeds of doubt about Jon to Sansa, but I don't understand why she would risk so many lives and Jon's by withholding that information. I guess that's something Littlefinger would do. He would withhold information, let everyone fight it out, and when the dust settles, he would be in a better position. So I guess Sansa's embracing the dark side. But it just feels wrong. I want her and Jon to be friends. I want them all to be friends. Tormund and Davos talk about unwinding before the battle. Tormund's gonna drink some old boozy milk. That's gross, Tormund. I've drank some disgusting things in my life to get drunk, but I draw the line. What? We're out of booze? Davos says he's gonna wander behind the camp and eat some Taco Bell.
Happy shitting.
Jon checks in with Melisandre. Hey Mel, we gonna see your boobs this episode? Nah, that's fine. You know what? I don't even think I want to be resurrected anymore. Just let me die. Davos is crop dusting outside the camp. This looks like the remains of a child burning fire. Davos is my favorite character and I love this majestic shot of him. The beautiful sky burning red, symbolizing the seething rage bubbling up beneath the stoic exterior. But also the imagery reminds us of the fire that consumed his little friend on that spot. Or maybe it's just pretty. It's probably just pretty. Doesn't mean anything. Dany and Tyrion meet with these assholes. Dany asks why they should team up if they only have 100 ships, and Euron is bringing 1,000. But Yara impresses Dany with her girl power smug mugs. Smug mugs. Ooh, smug mugs. Okay, but no more raping. How does one Not rape. No raping. Okay, as long as we can awkwardly touch each other's elbows. I see Ramsay's battlefield decorating hasn't skipped a beat. Spooky burning crosses really sets the mood. Don't mind me, I'm taking my Rickon for a walk.
Let's play a game.
Ooh, that's not good. I think you'll be safer hearing that from this guy than Ramsay. Ramsay plays some Rickon hunt. I've talked about Echoes of the Past being a big theme this season. Namely, characters from previous seasons reappearing, and sometimes they're shadows of their former self. But there's also been a secondary theme. Old characters reintroduced, and then quickly killed off for narrative efficiency. I mean, it makes sense from the writer's perspective. You're gonna have a lot of characters soon converging on Westeros. You gotta tie up the loose ends. You can't have characters just living their lives peacefully somewhere else. Just hanging around. We gotta kill them. End them. You can tell this is gonna be cinematic because they brought out the high-speed cameras to film some horses. Oh no, the army is coming. Guess I'll get my sword out. Oh, I might be screwed. Alright, I have an army too. Cool. Then we got this really neat one shot. Although horses go in front of the camera enough that it's probably several shots stitched together, but it's still really cool and really intense. It sets the mood for the battle. And we haven't seen anything really like it on Game of Thrones so far. The first season battles were like Tyrion tripping, getting knocked out, and he hears about it later. Blackwater was cool, but felt a little too much like a soundstage battle. And the battle at the wall was really more of a siege. This is Game of Thrones doing an all-out Braveheart-style battle, and boy did it deliver. Hey, can you get me a latte? Oh, damn it. Although sometimes it felt like it was just too much of something I call battle noise. It's where the cuts are way too quick and my eyes couldn't follow anything, but it gets the feeling of an intense war, I guess. Oh, they have that intestine spilling out shot. A war scene classic. Hey guys, I can't wait till Game of Thrones has its own theme park. Like the world of Harry Potter. Hey mom, can I go on the Battle of the Bastard slides? Whee! Ramsay's troops seem to get the upper hand by making a half circle of fun around them. Then they start covering Queen. Jon gets trampled like it's Black Friday at Walmart, and boiled leather is 75% off. Just when things look their bleakest, we have that super obvious, overly dramatic Vale saves the day moment. Seriously, Sansa, you could have said something about this. I'm sure I'm not the only one who saw this coming from a mile away, so it's a little disappointing we got a repeat of like Stannis' army coming in to save the day like we got a few seasons ago. Yeah, I was hoping for like some kind of surprise. I don't know. Oh, Jon Snow, get ready for the boss battle. Doors of Winterfell. Meet Giant. Jon, I finally became what I've always wanted to be. A porcupine. A porcupine, Jon. I know the name's a little cliche, but I'm gonna call myself Pokey. I'm gonna live in a tree with my wife, and her name is Pincushion. Pincushion, Jon. It's gonna be girl. Ramsay, you son of a bitch. You ruined the moment. Ramsay's like, I'll take you up on that one-on-one now. What a little shit. He reminds me of those friends growing up that you'd be playing tag with them, and you'd tag them, and they'd be like, oh, no, I'm on home base. This is, everywhere I'm standing is home base. You're in lava. I have a force field. Ooh. Jon hates that kind of kid too, and he beats the shit out of him. But Jon's a nice guy, and he gives Ramsay over to Sansa. And boy, is he gonna regret starving them dogs. I was actually nervous through this whole scene that somehow Ramsay was going to figure out a way to sick the dogs onto Sansa. Things have always magically worked in Ramsay's favor in the past, so I really wouldn't put it past the writers. You know, I actually kind of liked Ramsay in this episode, and maybe it's because they finally showed him being vulnerable. Turning down Jon's duel, staying on the back of the battlefield, not getting his hands dirty. It showed me that yes, he's a psycho murderer, but he also only likes to play in situations that are totally in his control. As opposed to Jon, who was the first to ride in. I like this slightly more nuanced version of Ramsay, and not the one that fights shirtless and is decked out in plot armor. Now with Joffrey, I was a little sad to see him go, but not Ramsay. He can go. Joffrey was the kind of villain you love to hate, and Ramsay, you just hate. So what did I think of this episode? It definitely came across as the most expensive episode so far. Almost to the point that it was too much and they should really spread that budget around more. Even just so I don't have to see this fucking set again. I read an article in Variety that said next season might be shorter. And I think that's a great move, just so you can tighten everything up so there's not that one spike of quality for that one episode a season. I thought the action was extremely entertaining in both plots, maybe more so with the Marine plot because my expectations were so low, and because by the time I got to the Battle of the Bastards, I was getting kind of action fatigued. Again, another reason they should spread the love next year. Jon and Sansa's plot rang a little hollow to me. I know it's all been set up that Littlefinger sowed the seeds of doubt, but it still felt artificial, and maybe there was a plot point missing there that could have bridged that gap. And you figured that he'd be more mad at her for withholding that information when they get back to Winterfell at the end, but maybe they're saving that conclusion for next week, and I'll withhold my judgment for now. I'm looking forward to the confrontation between Davos and Melisandre, and how Jon navigates that, because on the one hand, Melisandre resurrected him, and on the other, she murdered a child. And how do you navigate that? And also, what is Littlefinger going to want for his good deed? Littlefinger always wants something. Nothing's free. He's Littlefinger. But overall, I had a great time here. I had more fun in Meereen than I thought I would, and we finally got that big old medieval battle that Game of Thrones was always meant to do, you know? And Ramsay's dead! And of course, I want to thank all of the newcomers who are watching from Reddit. It was a huge surprise to me, and it was amazing to see all those comments, the praise, the corrections, the theories, all of it. I love talking about Game of Thrones. That's why I'm doing these videos in the first place, and I love talking about Game of Thrones. So please, continue to comment. And since I've been spending so much time making these videos, I haven't been on Game of Thrones forums or watching videos, so I'm not really caught up on the crackpot theories or the newest memes, so please let me know. I need to catch up. One more episode to go. Now excuse me, I gotta drink some old milk. Old milk.
Have a shitting.